Welcome back to another edition of Tony's Fords and Mustangs. I'm happy to report this is going to be the last video in this series. I got my horsepower back. I'm going to show you how. It's maybe 15-minute process. And I did dyno runs with a baseline and then after this change to show what's going on. So we started out the day with 2 baseline runs. This isn't too different than what we had a couple of weeks ago. Comes in at 401 and 404. Now this is compared to a 2021 Mach 1 that was in the same shop on the same dyno. They were adding a supercharger to the car and they wanted to establish a baseline for it. Now you can see it came in at 422 horsepower. Now this is where things are going to get a little bit tricky. This is a hydrocarbon trap. You can see that it's encased in this housing. That's what it looks like on the back side. This is the only difference between a 2021 5-liter and a 2022 5-liter. Whether it's a GT, a Mach 1, this add reduced airflow. And if you reduce airflow, you're going to drop horsepower. So this, I removed. I didn't want to do it at the shop. This is a tuner. The EPA is looking around for people that are making changes. So I wasn't going to ask them to do it. It required me to get the car off the dyno, drive off-site, pull out some hand tools, and pull this thing. So once that was pulled off-site, drove back, got the car back on the dyno, did another pull, and here's the results. And here are the results. You can see my car horsepower-wise is now at 422.15 and torque is at 371.68. If we compare that to the 2021 that was done the week prior, it was at 422.93 and the torque was 375.57. Now that car did have a catback. Also the atmospheric conditions might have been slightly different. So difference-wise, we're talking a few tenths in horsepower and 4 torque. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm all the way back. I'm going to run you through that removal process just real quickly. So I'm not a master mechanic. You don't need to be. There's some 10mm bolts involved. You pull the mass airflow sensor with a couple of torque bits. A couple of tubes come pop off. You're good to go. Okay, so this is your air box here. This is the mass airflow sensor. That's got to be pulled. You have the tab there. That comes out. There are 10mm bolts here. Oops, I'll pop this puppy out. That hold this thing down, the lid of this down. We got to remove those. So, 1, 2, 3, 1 back here. 4. Oh, there we go. That's out. Filter's got to come out. I'm going to clamp down way too far. This bad boy off. Okay, that's out. You wouldn't want to put the same size band clamp nuts on here, would you? Fill her out. And this puppy. Voila. So after you get your intake off, and I'm wearing my Odelphi headlamp to show you what's going on inside this thing, there's 3 tabs in here, and these need to be all depressed at the same time. Then you push, and I just jammed a screwdriver in there. Then you push on the back, and it comes out the front. Adelphi headlamps, highly recommend these things. I'm going to shut this off. I highly recommend these things. They're great when you vacuum the car. You can see right down into the footwells. Kind of an awesome thing. I'm going to put a link in the description. You can take 10% off if you use the code down there. They're right around $30. They recharge on a USB, and I can leave it charged. It sits out here for a week. I bring it in, I recharge it, and away I go. And now the bad news. And I'm going to read from my phone here, so please excuse that. Currently, there are 14 other states. They're called CARB Plus states. They've adopted California's emission standards. Those states include the following: Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Maine, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, Washington, D.C., and of course, Pennsylvania, the state I live in. So I did remove this hydrocarbon trap today for you to see where the 10 horsepower went. I've tested it, proven that's the issue. My big issue is, in order to stay legal in the state of Pennsylvania, I had to put it back in. Not the greatest feeling in the world. We're going to see what comes out with cold air intakes in the near future. Hopefully there's something out there that'll alleviate this trap issue. There's a lot of misinformation out in the internet about these things. Initially, I thought it was probably done through the ECU, and that's partially true, but not completely. And I just heard this last night. I guess Alex Flores has a live stream. Someone sent him a link to a site that was Ford Marketing that said the compression ratio was down. And I assure you that's not the case. It's bad on Ford's part to even have the information out there. I wish Alex would have checked. He seems to be a nice guy. I've watched a lot of his videos in the past, but it's just the wrong information. If this engine was down on compression, I wouldn't be right there with a 2021. Just wouldn't be possible. You know, that's the process I went through. I'm not going to tell you to do this. This is emissions control. Depending on the state you're in and how they regulate things, it could be illegal. So it's up to you on whether that's something you want to do. So we've kind of come full circle here. My quest for the 10 horsepower, I know where it's at. It's actually 18 horsepower. The problem I have is the regulations of my state prohibited me from tapping into that, at least at this time. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this journey. If you did, please consider subscribing. Until next time, we'll see you.